Hello and welcome to Geeks of the Round. I'm your host, Matt Moore, and we are discussing Legends of Tomorrow Pilot Part 2. Of course, they broke up the pilot into two separate episodes to be aired 2 separate weeks, which I find kind of stupid, but they did it anyway. So, unusually, they don't take my opinion as word, as God's word, but oh well. Let's introduce the panel. I thought just my thoughts. I thought the episode was pretty good, but there's really not a lot to talk about. So I expect it to be a short hangout. What did you think, Charles?
I liked it. I thought it was better than part one of the pilot. I thought bringing in some characters from other shows, such as I don't know, Damien Dark from Arrow. I thought that was pretty cool. And the huge surprise at the end of the episode blew me away. I was like, all right, did they seriously just do that?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So, yes, I enjoyed the episode quite a bit. Yes.
All right, and I assume what you mean by the surprise at the end of the episode, you're talking about Hawkman getting shanked.
Yep, pretty much.
And how about you, Lou? What did you think?
Overall, the episode was fun. I'm liking. God, those '70s outfits were horrendous.
Didn't I call it? I was calling it '60s outfits, but didn't I tell you like Sarah wearing the John Lennon glasses and the whole 9 yards? I totally called that.
Dude, oh my God, I'm digging the whole time travel thing. It's fun, and how they dress up to the era that they're in is great. But Jesus, man, it's like, did we have to go back to Damien Dark's house?
Well, I'd find it funny if like Captain Cold, like when he first got to the house, he like looked under the mat and there was the key, and like he used that key to get in.
I mean, so far I'm liking it. I agree with you. Why did they split it? I think it was stupid. They could have pushed 100 back one more week just to air that two-part event in one day. But hey, we're not the heads of CW, so move on.
Yeah. And of course we ended up starting out the episode with a huge fight, like literally like a big, huge group fight was how they started the episode. Like before they even ran the title of the show, like showing the title of the show, they had already had a big old fight with like nuclear blasts and heat and cold and Sarah doing her like assassin ninja thing, and I think we're going to see a lot of those. And I say that because not only did we see that before they even showed the opening credits, but because of the fact that they did it again at the end of this episode. So we saw two of those in this one episode. So I'm thinking a lot of these fights are going to be basically computer generated, because I'm sure that that's how they did that.
Which is fine with me, you know.
I'm fine with it as well. My only concern is, do they have the budget for that, to be able to do that over the course of a 21 to 22 episode season?
It's not a 21 episode season.
Oh, it's not?
No.
How many?
I think it's going to only be 13.
Well, I mean, even with a 13 episode season, would they still have the funding for that in every
That's why
episode?
they're saying. That's why the rumor is they might not get a season 2, no matter how good it is, because of how expensive it was to shoot.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's still too early to hope for a season 2 because, well, it is part 1 of the pilot. But so I still consider these 2 episodes as just one episode. So the show still has 4 more episodes to catch my interest.
Okay.
Because I mean, what I do for any show. I mean, I was already excited for Legends of Tomorrow, but for pretty much every show that I'm even slightly curious about, I always give it 5 episodes to see if I'll stick with it. That's what I did with Killjoys. That's what I did with several other shows. And that's why, yeah.
You started watching it and we're doing live hangouts for it, you're stuck.
Yeah.
At least the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, it's just because if I stop watching it and I don't show up at these hangouts anymore, it's just you two yahoos.
We'll be fine, but it's always fun to have a third person.
Oh, I've done 2-person hangouts before. I will never do that again.
Yeah, but look who your partner was.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But no, it actually looks like it's going to be 11 episodes.
Oh,
11.
11?
Okay, well that actually might be awesome because the shorter the season, the more condensed the story is going to be and the less fillers. So, yeah.
See, I didn't think Legends would be one of those shows that had fillers because I knew it was a short run. I honestly wish all these shows would take this approach. I love the Netflix approach.
Okay, all right. You know what? But I'm going to stop you right there. Is that before we even started the hangout, I was talking about I had to check to see if this show Grimm was recording, which it is. But I got to say, Grimm is your typical 21 to 22 episode season, and it's been going on for 5 years. It's currently in its 5th season, and yeah, every episode of Grimm out of those whole 22 episode seasons have been phenomenal. I have yet to see a single bad episode in the 5 years that I've watched Grimm.
But see,
Really? The second episode of the show, you didn't find that to be bad?
All right, you know what? I'll give you that. I didn't catch my Grimm did not catch my interest until episode 3 of season 1. But since then, I have been hooked. I am addicted to Grimm. I mean, I can't go to bed until I watch the episode. I can't.
Wow, so you only sleep once a week and only 22 weeks, 22
Yeah,
nights.
you know what? Very, very good, Matt. Yes, I realize I walked right into that.
But to your point there, Whedon, that's cool. But let's be real. Will we benefit if Arrow cut it down to 13 or 14 episodes? I think we would.
But no, but my point being is that not every show is terrible depending on the longer the season is. However, you are correct. Arrow would benefit greatly if its season was reduced down to at most 15 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah, it would benefit greatly. And the same can be said for Flash.
The way this season's going, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I was using Wikipedia as my source. I actually double-checked Legends of Tomorrow is getting 15 episodes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
15?
Yeah,
15. Just only 11 have names so far. 11's going to be the one that has Jonah Hex.
But still, it's like the 100 last year did 15 episodes, I believe, and it was a tight story. Yeah.
I thought it was less than that. I thought it was like closer to like 13.
No, season 1 was 13, and
Okay.
I think season 2 might have been 16, but it was still a tight. You just tell a better story this way.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about filling in so many pointless gaps the way these shows have done it.
They just try to keep it so long that way they can fill up their schedule because they don't have anything else to take up the free time.
Well, that's just it. Is in this particular episode, I mean, we ended up having a story where that fight at the beginning to stop a nuclear warhead from exploding or from killing people, and of course they kind of sort of accomplished that. Then they ended up having the storyline where Adam like dropped a piece of his armor. Like, how the hell did he drop a piece of his armor?
Actually,
Well, he punched somebody and it looked like it just flew off.
No. What happened is that he was in a fight with some Asian guy. I think he might have been North Korean, and to be judging by his uniform, I assume he's either some sort of bad guy from China or he might have been from North Korea. But he had basically hit Palmer's suit on the arm with the butt of his assault rifle, and it must have dislodged something in the arm, and that's probably what happened.
I was gonna say that was one problem I had with the fight is that Ray Palmer is not a fighter. I mean, yes, his suit makes it to where he's stronger. Maybe even makes it to where he can react a little faster.
The only thing that
But
makes
Ray
sense.
Palmer was fucking pulling moves like Sarah Lance does.
Well, we've seen this from like part 1 of the pilot. We saw that. I mean, I'm curious why you didn't bring it up then.
I don't know. Maybe because it was more obvious this time.
Well, I kind of figured that during that episode where they were going up against Deathbolt, where Doug Jones' character with the laser beams out of the eyes, Oliver pretty much took over the suit and fought for Ray. I think after that fight, Oliver realized that Palmer would need to learn how to fight, so I think Oliver might have given him some basic training.
Yeah, like I
That
was
would have
thinking.
been. That's a lot more than basic training, but
My theory is, with great training comes great fighting. Palmer
okay.
started training.
I'm thinking. Here's my thought on the matter. What if the suit actually kind of knows how to fight?
I was
Like,
saying that
He's
too.
working with the suit.
well, that's actually kind of bad, because what would happen if the suit stopped working?
He's fucked.
Yeah, he's fucked, and
Yeah, but what if even if it wasn't trained to learn how to fight? What would happen if the suit stopped working? Either way, he's fucked.
yeah.
Whether it knew how to fight or not.
The only issue I had with this episode was the fact that we went to Damien Dark's house and Rip Hunter handed Ray Palmer a goddamn action figure suit.
Yeah, that was a freaking
It
toy.
was his suit that was shrunk
Dude, that
down.
shit looked like a fucking toy.
Yeah, it
It
was a
did.
toy. They probably picked it. They probably picked it up at Toys R Us on the way there.
I
Like,
was thinking,
like you might be joking, Charles, but that actually sounds like exactly what happened.
dude, I'm thinking in my head, okay, that shit is a shrunk down miniature version of his suit. How the hell does he expand that bitch?
There's a button, the button on the chest that he presses that allows him to shrink.
Oh,
He can
dude,
still
his finger's so goddamn. He
he
can't.
can still press it. I've actually seen toys that small, and I can press the button that's on the chest. I can do it with
Maybe
my
he
thumb.
carries a safety pin with him.
It's not the size of a reset button, dude. It's a little bit bigger.
No. It's the size
Yeah.
of your eject button on your Nexus device that they give you the little pin.
Yeah, basically. So, all right, so we had that. Then we had Martin Stein's story, which Stein's story was basically, yes, Martin Stein, you're an arrogant asshole.
And a
You've always
pothead.
been an arrogant asshole. The only difference is now you have no recollection of what kind of arrogant asshole you were when you were a kid. Like, it's like, yeah, Martin Stein's all like, yeah, pot. Like people smoked pot back then, and then they found him, and it's like, oh, apparently I was one of them. I had forgotten that.
No, he knew.
Big
He
head.
knew. He just didn't talk about it.
And Sarah flirting with old young version of Stein.
Yeah, I kind of got like a creepy vibe from that.
Oh, Charles, only you.
Well, no, because the older version is sitting right there watching the flirting happen. I mean, it's just creepy to me. I mean, I just thought it was creepy.
Look, dude, it ain't my fault.
What?
It ain't my
What?
fault. That's what
I-
Sarah's thinking. It ain't her fault that the younger dude wants to hit on her.
Oh.
She's just going with the flow, helping the team.
But you know what? I
What might
thought
have been creepy would
I
have
thought
been if
Sarah
Sarah
was
got
gay.
down and dirty.
Sarah was gay.
Sarah is
goes
gay.
both ways.
Does she?
She slept with Oliver 2 seasons ago, for Christ's sakes.
Well, he could have made her gay.
I was gonna say things like that. I think are in flux. Like it's very possible that she's all the way gay. Now,
wants to
it
be.
being as recently after Oliver as it is, the chances aren't super high, but it is possible. There is such a thing as gender fluidity.
Well, you know what? No. Lou's right. She does swing both ways, because remember when Sarah first showed up on Arrow, she did rekindle the relationship with Oliver.
That's what we've been talking about, you stupid.
Okay, you just pulled an Isaiah moment.
I did?
Yes. That's what we were just talking about, is her sleeping with Oliver. Like, Lou was talking about it, then I was talking about it, and then you're like, oh yeah, but what about that one time when she slept with Oliver?
Okay, all right. There goes my only Isaiah card that I can pull in this hangout. If I fuck up again, I'm probably going to be hidden from the hangout.
All right. In that case, But no, and it really it's very possible that she's all the way gay now. Where obviously she was either straight or bi back then. Like gender identities, sexual identities can change over time.
Maybe I think she's just more of the if the right guy comes along, she'll go with the flow. But if it's the right woman, she rolls that way too.
Well, apparently to her, the right woman was Nissa Al Ghul.
Yes.
But that's when she was supposedly dead. That's when she went down that road.
Okay. I don't know.
Remember,
Maybe Nizza was just the hottest thing in the Assassin's Guild or League of Assassins.
Well, they
Maybe
all
she
wear
just went for
masks.
the hottest thing, and it happened to be female.
Yeah, because everybody else is covered in a mask.
From what I have observed, everybody there was probably a dude, and Nissa was the only woman in that entire place.
Yeah, we don't know. It's very possible that for you to be the rank and file of League of Assassins, you might need to get snipped.
I got a question here.
Lum say
know we're
Uniki.
getting-
Snip, snip.
We know we get an episode with Ra's al Ghul. You
Do
think
we?
Nissa will be in
No.
that episode?
Malcolm. We get an episode. I'm
No,
not
not
gonna.
Malcolm. Not the Malcolm. The Ra's al Ghul from season 3.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
How are they gonna bring him back?
They are time travelers.
Oh, you're saying he's gonna show up in Legends of Tomorrow?
I ain't talking
Yes,
about Arrow.
that is the show that we're discussing.
Same
Isaiah
universe.
number 2.
Go on. Yes, I think
no,
Sarah's
I
going
was
to be in that. I don't know if Nissa's going to be though.
If Nissa's gonna show up, I would not be surprised if she was gonna be a kid. Like
didn't say
maybe
that.
like
I think I am currently working with the theory, and this is a wild speculation. I am currently working with the theory that they have gone as far back in time as they're going to.
Well, 75.
no.
Yeah,
No,
at least as part of the main storyline. I think maybe they might go before that to wrap things up, and maybe like see Vandal Savage as a caveman or some shit, or not as a caveman,
we know we're
but
going to the
as
caveman.
a Egyptian whatever. Sorry,
We know
Vandal
we're going to the
Savage in the
cowboy
comics
era.
started out as a fucking caveman.
They're going to the Old West because of Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex was only active during the Wild Wild West.
Well,
Yeah.
that still qualifies because of the fact that I said until they're starting to wrap things up, until the end when they start to wrap things up, and episode 11 is pretty damn close to the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if the end game starts at episode 11 or if it doesn't start until episode 14. If it'll be like 14 and 15 like it would be with Flash or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, the fun parts of this episode was Captain Cold and Heatwave when they broke into.
Can I burn things yet? I wish you would.
When they broke into Vandal Savage's home, aka Damien Dark's future home.
Is it Damien Dark's future home?
Dude, that was Damien Dark's home when Arrow saved the wife and kid.
That's pretty fucking funny. I wonder if it was supposed to be that way. And I'm thinking, you know what? We ended up having that whole room full of bad guys, and we saw Damien Dark again. I'm wondering whether the other bad guys in that room, if we're going to see a lot of them as well. If we're going to start just running into all of them.
Dude, I want Damien Dark's magic powers because, man, that nigga looked the same from 2016 to 1975.
Well, he is immortal,
Damien Dark?
isn't he?
I didn't
No.
know he was
I mean,
immortal.
he got straight out killed, and he came back like
he uses mysticism to be able to extend his own life, but he has to continue providing blood sacrifices to whatever is giving him this immortality. So the immortality that he has is very temporary.
Well, you could say the same thing about Vandal Savage,
But
because
what I
Vandal
mean-
Savage has to accomplish something to be immortal.
Yes, that is true. But I think if Damien Dark is immortal, I guess it is kind of the same thing as Vandal Savage. But I don't think Damien Dark has been immortal as long as
Oh no,
Vandal
no, I don't
Savage.
think so at all.
Yeah.
And I would
Well, we
not be
know
surprised if we find out that Damien Dark was trained by Vandal Savage.
Well,
And Vandal Savage just doesn't use that magic anymore because he doesn't need to.
but no.
Or maybe he forgot it after
Damien
millennia.
wasn't Damien Dark trained by the League of Assassins?
for a little
League
while.
of Assassins doesn't have that kind of powers.
Okay, yeah, that's true. They're martial
Of
arts, and
course.
they don't really deal with mysticism that much.
Well, I mean that we know of. It's very possible that they have access to that. We just haven't seen it. Like maybe they have a shaman or something that just hasn't played part of the storyline. But it will be interesting to find out where Damien Dark learned his abilities. And it will also be kind of awesome if Legends of Tomorrow does come back for a second season, for us to actually see, for example, again, Houdini. See Vandal Savage training with Houdini, or training all these different people.
That would be fun.
I think that would be awesome.
Yep.
See a young version of him. And that would kind of almost make him an anti-hero if we end up making the show about him and how he became who he is. Like, people would start rooting for him. Like us viewers, some viewers would start rooting for him.
Yeah.
You know how many people I know who watched Jessica Jones and were like, why'd they have to kill Kilgrave? Why'd they have to kill the 10th Doctor? Because he was a bad guy.
The only reason why they were saying that is because it was David Tennant. I mean, everybody loves David Tennant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you have to,
I love him.
You have to take the character away from the actor. Like, you can't.
So I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I know it's off topic of Legends of Tomorrow, but when Kilgrave was killed in Jessica Jones, I got to say, I was happy.
I blocked Charles just to piss him off. Just kidding, Charles. Go on. You were happy. Continue talking.
I was happy that he was killed. I was very satisfied with his death.
He had to die.
Yes.
Because there was no other alternative. There's literally no other alternative. I do think he's going to be back because what's-his-face was correct that the Purple Man does eventually get, like, regenerative, that word. You know the word I'm trying to say.
Regenerative.
Powers. Thank you. He can regeneration. That's bad English, but I don't give a shit.
He can regenerate.
He has the power. He has the power of regeneration. In any case, so maybe we might see him in a future Marvel property, maybe even Jessica Jones season 2 or 3, but we'll see. But back to the show. What else happened? Let me see. We had a lot of pot smoking.
Mm-hmm.
We had them grab the Adams tech that he had dropped.
They went for the dagger.
Really? Yeah, they got the dagger. They got traps. They ended up fighting Vandal Savage again.
And then Carter, like a dumbass, got himself killed, thinking that he could kill him. Dumbass.
Yeah.
When it turns out that it's Shiara that has to be the one to kill him in order for it to work.
Yeah, and then Kendra got the fuck out of Dodge.
Well, no, she tried to.
There's a question. How long do you think it'll take before we find Carter Hall again?
I say 8 episodes. Well, that they find them by episode 8.
That they find another Carter Hall by episode 8?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to go into the future, grab him, and then bring him back?
Maybe.
I don't think that he's going to come back.
You don't think so?
My theory, and this is going to count as my wild speculation, is that I think with Carter Hall dying, I think that that's going to allow the show to focus on Kendra, and to be able to allow her to become stronger, and to fully emerge and fully remember who she was, and she's basically going to go on the warpath. basically she's going to become not really at first she's going to be the loose cannon where she's going to say like, oh, Vandal Savage, god damn it, Lou, you had me saying it. But no, but she's whenever she hears about Vandal Savage, she's going to go straight at him, and she's going to go into a full blown fury, and she's going to try to just rip him apart. But I think she's going to go on a path of revenge. I think that's what's going to happen, and it's going to focus on her probably for most of the season.
I got a question.
What's that?
Does the immortality kick in when they both die, or just one of them?
Well, what it was, from what I've gathered from what happens when you kill, is that their life force leaves their body and then gets absorbed by Vandal Savage, which then rejuvenates his immortality. I think that if he kills just one, it does rejuvenate his immortality, just not as potent as it would if he killed both.
When I say that is because if that's the case, then we shouldn't get a Carter back. Because if he has to wait for Shiara to die, then he might be waiting a long time.
Yeah.
I know in the comics that isn't quite how it works, is that if one of them dies, the other one can keep going and wait for the next one. But obviously, generally, they're much older by that point. But because, if you were 25 when your great love died, then you got to wait another 25 years before it gets reincarnated and is 25. So you're 50 by that point. Like you gotta wait for that shit.
That sucks.
You know what? Sorry, I saw that once, but I don't know that that's the norm.
I'm sticking to my theory. I don't think Carter's going to come back at all this season. I think he's gone.
I think the only way he's going to come back is if they go into the future and grab him.
Yeah, that if he does come back, that's the only way it could work.
Yeah, or the past.
No, going into the past, sure, but then again, that would create a paradox for everything that had happened in the future.
No, it wouldn't, and you know why? Because he wouldn't fucking remember it. Remember, he doesn't remember his past lives. At least not very well. All he would have to do is die again, and then it wouldn't mess with the timeline.
I don't know. God damn it, my head hurts.
All this time travel shit, wow, it's confusing.
It's like inducing a potential aneurysm.
Well, I mean, the reason it would cause a paradox is because of the fact that he'd end up seeing future events, and then he'd go back to the past, and he'd know those future events. But if he came to the future and died in the future, he wouldn't go back into the past to cause the paradox. So long as he wasn't important to the timeline in that particular lifetime.
Well, it's Hawkman. Of course he's important to the timeline. He's one of the members of the Justice League.
The Justice League that doesn't exist in this universe.
What?
Gotcha.
There's no Justice League in this universe.
All right, that kind of pisses me off now.
Dude, the only thing we're going to get reference to something similar to Superman is going to be the green kryptonite.
The what?
I don't know. I mean, we did have reference to a Batman character on Arrow, so...
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Legends of Tomorrow. There's going to be an episode where they see Captain Cold looking into a cube, and it's green kryptonite in that box. That's going to be their reference to Superman. You might see something like a Batarang in another case as a reference to Batman, but as far as like the Justice League, we're not getting no references to that. So as much as Hawkman was relevant in that case, he ain't in this storyline.
Well, we will see. Do we have anything else we want to talk about before Wild Speculation? Oh, well, we've already gone to Wild Speculations. Do we have anything else before we wrap up?
Nope.
These episodes were short, fun, and it keeps you moving. There's not much to nitpick about it.
Cool.
Unlike some of the other shows we discuss.
I don't know what you're arrowing about.
Good pun.
In that case, thank you for watching. Check us out at geeksaround.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, Geeks of the Round. Give us a call at 801-609-4687. That's 801-609-GOTR. I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.